Hello everybody there, I am Nico Novum Del Val, and we are back for the final game of the day. It's of course PMM versus UES yet again, and we're going to game 3. It's 1-for-1 in this series, and both teams are looking to secure their victory. Bloodsink and company learning that they don't like that Rengar, though. I'm not sure if they'd like the Hecarim much more. Although, at least Bloodsink could actually split push against Hecarim. With the Rengar on the field, it was just like, I'm gonna come up there and I'm just gonna absolutely destroy you. But you know, the best thing about best of series is that you have to adapt, and you're seeing it now with PMM banning this Vayne, getting Subway absolutely away from that pick because he went huge last game. But honestly, I think they need to be paying more attention to Tipster. It was his early game work that created the lead that they used to win the game in the first place. Also, I think PMM shot calling was a lot better when they were ahead. So if they can manage to get an early lead again, I think they have a really good chance of winning. Like a better than average chance, and a better chance of winning than UES does. So I'm still going to say that PMM is my favorite for this one, but UES showed that they were really good in the lane last game. If they can win those lanes again, and if they can fix a little bit of their messy shot calling, then I think they have a great chance to win this game as well. It's all about who wins the early game when it comes to these two teams, I think. But anyways, it looks like we've got some changing up from Color Wheel with the hover on Shen. Not sure if it's going to be locked in, of course, but I think it would definitely be good to get a teleport back onto PMM's side. They didn't have teleport last game, and it ended up not going very well because of that. Yes, Color Wheel was able to arrive at most team fights, but it completely shut down any chance for them to split push. Because if he wasn't with the team, then UES would force a 4v5. And he couldn't let that happen, so he always had to be with the team, and he always had to be looking for a pick on the side of the fight. But it looks like they're prioritizing this Alistar. UES was the one to prioritize the Alistar pick in the first game, I'm sure. I'm pretty certain. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he was the one to focus on that. But it looks like PMM has decided to first pick this Alistar this time. It's always been a pretty strong first pick kind of thing. Being able to grab it and then mock up team fights. I don't think it's the greatest pick in the game, but it is really good, and once you get to level 6, it's really easy to team fight. Just right in that power spike, when Alistar gets Unbreakable Will, he gets incredibly tanky. Meanwhile, on the other side, we're seeing a few different jungler hovers from Tipster. I think it was hovering something else, but now he's decided to hover the Evelynn. Gangplank, however, gets locked in. A really powerful early laner. It's a Triforce champion for Bloodsink. But it also opens up Color Wheel for the counter pick. Well, I think UES has kind of given up on just winning top lane because they just can't do it. Color Wheel is too good. He's won lane every game, even in a matchup that was bad for him. He won the lane. So he needs to. So they just kind of given up on their lane. They want to focus on their bot lane because it was definitely Subway and Gamey Gam that really showed up in the last game. Also Tipster. I want to see more of Tipster's early plays, and definitely Evelynn is a good champion for that. He can early pressure all of the lanes, and he can try and pick up that early lead like he did the last game. If he can manage to replicate that success, I think UES can win this game really easily. But I definitely want to, because Kabloomy is definitely not that great of an early jungler. He showed it in the weekend championship, and he's showing it today. He hasn't managed to exert early pressure that well. And when he has, it just hasn't been as good as the junglers he's contending with. Tipster's, even in the first game, Tipster was out-pressuring him a little bit up until they got such a big lead that it didn't matter anymore. But anyway, so the Rek'Sai and Tristana have been picked up. Tristana really great at that early tower taking, being able to just blow them up, drop the explosive charge, and then immediately reset the cooldown by using your quick shot to lower it back down so you can just use it again and again. It's really great for the early tower takes, really good in lane swaps, I think, too. Which would be it would be a decent idea to lane swap. Maybe change it up a little bit because what happened in the last game obviously didn't work. Rek'Sai is the more interesting pick here. I would have liked to see Kabloomy pick back up his Gragas. It's by far his best champion. But he has decided to pick up the Rek'Sai. Great global pressure. He's going to be able to get to the places where Tipster ganks. Having a Rek'Sai is really good for countering that kind of early pressure. keeping away these early game pressure junglers, I think it's a really good idea for Kabloomy to pick that up. Yes, he won't be able to do much on 1 through 5, but once he hits level 6, even if Tipster has built up a lead, Kabloomy can be certain that he can get across the map to counter gank if he needs to. But it's going to be a little bit hard to keep track of a jungler you can't see. You need to be able to you need to be able to see Evelynn, where she's going. So that means you need to place wards deep into the jungle. Make sure that you have that ward pressure so that you can see her when she's doing her camps, and try as best as you can to keep an eye on Evelynn. Try and anticipate where she is ganking at the very least, because Evelynn is not the greatest ganker. If there is a counter gank waiting, then I think Kabloomy is going to have an advantage in that situation just based on champion pick. Anyways, we do see Zyra and Lucian being locked in on the side of UES. Lucian is my favorite champion, but I've got like 60k mastery points on this dude. He's gotten a lot better this a few patches ago, because they buffed him a little bit, gave him a little back of his power. He was getting pretty weak. I love Lucian. He's got some pretty good early lane dominance. His mid game is good. His late game is decent. He's good at all stages of the game, and having the ability for your teammates to proc your movement speed now, it gives you a lot more options as far as moving around in a team fight, and especially in a coordinated environment. Although Zyra is definitely going to be the more interesting pick coming in from UES. The plant woman hasn't been seen in competitive play for a while, but she does do a lot of damage. Don't know where she's going. Support maybe, or mid lane? We'll see. It's a bit of a flex pick. Looks like it's going to go support, and in support, it does do a great deal of damage. Being able to drop that ultimate, drop the E to root down, but also having the amazing zone control, and that's definitely an advantage coming in from UES's side. They have brilliant zone control. They have Lulu, and they have not only just Lulu and Zyra, who are really great zone control champions. They have Gangplank. Once he hits level 6, he can drop his ult to control his zone. He can keep people from being away, and he can keep that, and he can maybe reset the kind of counter gank that Kabloomy has, where he would have a slight advantage in that situation because he's slightly stronger in that kind of 2v2 or 3v3 situation. But anyways, we did see Jax locked in for Color Wheel. Also another champion we haven't seen in a while. I really like this unorthodox top lane pick against the Gangplank, because when he launches his Q into when Gangplank launches his parlay into the swinging around pole of Jax, then it's gonna get deflected. It's not gonna do any damage. And considering Gangplank relies a lot on that for good damage, and also for otherwise getting into melee range to drop that fiery sword thing onto him, then it's pretty good. So I'm interested to see this matchup. Haven't seen Jax, definitely haven't seen the Jax Gangplank matchup. So I'm really excited to see how this lane plays out. Color Wheel, of course, an aggressive top laner, so it's definitely good to see. Also, we have the Teleport Diana coming in the mid lane for Melchior. Not something I've seen in this so far, but it did seem to be picking up steam towards the end of the summer split for the LCS. I saw Incarnation pick it up a few times, even in the Gauntlet. I'm not entirely certain why Teleport it would be good on Diana, because I'm not an analyst, but I think it's performed well. It allows her to get across the map, and having 2 teleports on your team allows you to get into positions for team fights you wouldn't otherwise be able to. It also allows you to really easily get into a 1-3-1. You can have 2 people split pushing and still be able to get them both to the fight if one breaks out. Being able to have such a strong 1-3-1, especially because you have a split pusher like Jax and split pushers like Jax and Diana, who both have great attack speed, and also great damage in that situation, means that not only is your 1-3-1 strong, but as long as your teammates can survive until the teleports come in, then you can still team fight in that situation as long as your teleports are up. I don't think Lulu is a great pick in this composition from UES. Yes, it's generally a good pick. It's really useful no matter what composition it's in. Just being able to shield and also heal with that with the wild growth is really useful. But I don't think it was the greatest pick in this composition specifically, because Lulu doesn't have anyone that is going to be just immediately trying to get into way into the middle of the team immediately once something starts. Tipster is probably going to build Runeglaive, and that is not a tanky item. Tipster is not going to be able to get into the middle of a fight where he would with Echo, where he could drop his Wild Growth and get multiple knockups, which is the most useful form of CC he has. But I'm still excited to see it, especially if Lucian tries to go that early, that first Bloodthirster build that Bang seems to prefer, the Jugger Lucian. I think it'd be pretty decent in this composition because you do have a Lulu. But it'll be interesting to see. Also interesting to see if Game still decides to pick up a Harbinger, considering Lucian is the pick now instead of Vayne, and also that he's playing a more damaging support. It's going to be interesting to see how lane plays out in general, just because pre-6, that's a lot of zone control and a lot of damage that Midnight Drop and Rushing Guy are going to have to deal with. But we are going to be getting into the loading screen now. More sponsors. I don't even have one sponsor. And yes, that book is mine. I didn't get to toggle off my music. Okay, so anyways, we are getting into the loading screen now. It's going to be PMM on the blue side with Color Wheel in the top lane, Kabloomy in the jungle, Melchior in the middle lane, Midnight Drop at AD carry, and Rushing Guy at support. And meanwhile, on the other side with Undefined Esports, we have Bloodsync in the top lane, Tipster at jungle, Forcia in the middle lane, Subway ADC at AD carry, and Gamigam at support. Some really interesting picks coming out of here. I'm excited to see where this game goes, and it is a game 3, so it's guaranteed to be exciting. This, both teams really want to win at this point. So they've played so hard, gotten this far. It's been hours. They really want to win. They don't want to go home with nothing. Either way, one team is going to win, one team is going to lose. But it's, of course, it's a league. They'll get a rematch later, but definitely being something to prove in this first matchup. Going to be getting onto the rift any second now. We do hear the wind noises. Okay, so talking a little bit as to Evelyn's early gank pressure. Being able to dodge wards it means that even if you don't have a lot of crowd control that you would expect from a jungler to have for ganks, you can still be able to get them off effectively just because you have damage, but more importantly, you can get there without the enemy bottom lane or middle lane or top lane being aware of your presence at all. Everyone's going to run out onto the rift now. Everybody's trinkets charging up. Let's see if we get some level 1 fight going on. We have seen a few level 1 tries in these games, and the last game in particular, Bloodsync managed to just knock right onto Color Wheel and pick up that early first blood. I don't think that's going to be quite the case here because we don't have Riven anymore. But, hey, you never know. We could get into some exciting level 1 action. I think PMM is going to be a little bit more careful of that bush. The Walking Ward has spotted Melchior, but Rushing Guy has spotted Tipster. Looks like not much is going to go down. Everyone drops some wards, and everyone is now just going to back off and be careful. Double check into my overlay so you'll see a freeze on the stream. Yes. Yes, we do have the overlay. The right one. No more wrong ones for me. Minions are going to be getting onto the rift any second now, but let's talk a little bit more about Jax. Jax, who's been out for a little while, but he has his Counter-Strike ability to really lane against Bloodsync. I was talking about it a little bit in Champion Select. I'd like to talk about it a little bit more now. Being able to deflect Parlay, being able to deflect the true damage burn auto attack that Bloodsync has, means that he's going to be able to deflect a lot of what Gangplank does in lane. But I'm wondering if Counter-Strike works against Gangplank's barrels. I mean, they do count as auto attacks, I think. After all, they can crit. I'm not entirely certain about that. We're gonna have to see about that. I haven't seen this matchup yet, so it's gonna be interesting to watch. But yet again, we do see that PMM has opted to give their bottom lane the Crux. They've done this every game so far. Being able to do that gives your lane the early level 2 from the bottom lane, and we have seen standard lanes every match. No lane swaps, no crazy level 1 strats coming out from either team. We haven't even seen the top laners do a jungle, so it's been really standard for most of this series. Well, it would be interesting to actually see everyone switch it up, but it's a little bit late for the level 1 switching it up at least. Jax did a jungle camp, got his level 2. Now he's gonna teleport right on back to lane, same as Bloodsync. Both of them haven't picked up a camp. Both of them are gonna be pretty even to start out here, but we'll see how the lane develops. Like I said, I have been speaking up to the matchup. I do think Jax probably wins this one, but I could always be wrong. Ooh, and whoa, that's a lot of damage Color Wheels landed on the Bloodsync. That was a trade, definitely in favor of Jax. Bloodsync underestimating his opponent a little maybe, but he definitely didn't get the barrels the way he wanted. He dropped both of those barrels, he managed to get them to blow up, but Color Wheel just stepped forward, got right on out of it, so I didn't get to see if Counter-Strike blocked the barrel damage. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, just some light trading going on, throwing down some plants. Tipster is hanging around the top lane, so he might be looking for a gank. Color Wheel is pushed up pretty far. Although, I think the bottom lane will probably end up swinging in Subway's favor. If this is a lane where both lanes are of equal skill, then I definitely think the Lucian's Eye would win early. But it looks like Color Wheel has spotted Tipster coming into his lane. It's 2v1, but Color Wheel pops his Counter-Strike. Tipster flashes away, but Color Wheel flashes right on after him. Bloodsync is trying to return the kill. Color Wheel has dual buffs, but no Counter-Strike. He uses his Jump Strike to get on away, but Bloodsync flashes and uses his Parlay before the Counter-Strike comes back up. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade, and Bloodsync ends the fight with the dual buff, so I think he's going to be a little bit happy about that. The one who finished with the dual buffs is definitely going to be a little bit more happy about the trade. But for both top laners now, the summoners are down, so it wouldn't be completely impossible for Kalumi to head up there and try and return that kill back. Try and get that gank back, because now that Chester has gotten that lane a little bit ahead, or at least even. It's having Bloodsync a much better early game. They just want Bloodsync to have a much stronger early game than he's had in the past few matches. Just every game it seems to end with him getting totally destroyed in lane by Color Wheel. So he doesn't want that to happen again. Definitely wants to try and prove that he can bring something to the table too. So we'll see if he can prove that to Color Wheel. Looks like Tipster is pulling out another early gank. Tipster is just all over the map, and 4C is making it worth it. The burn of the red buff finishes off the kill, but Kabloomy has joined the middle lane. He flashes over onto 4C. 4C is going to get low, get bitten down by Rek'Sai, and it's just going to be another 1-for-1 trade in favor of nobody. This is turning out to look like an even game. Nobody is getting the big lead early that we've seen in prior games. They're starting to get used to each other, starting to adapt, and that's what I like to see in a best-of series. Both teams getting better, both teams giving their all, so that now we have a game 3, and no one is clearly better than the other, and we can see who can pull it out in this situation, who can adapt to the pressure. Midnight Drop, trading a little bit with Subway. Gammy Gam, throwing down a little plant. I don't have much to talk about now. Oh wait, Russian guy's going in on Subway ADC, but because he had to use the Headbutt Pulverize combo, there's no Headbutt to get him back in, get him backwards. That's like the one problem with that combo, or using that combo in lane, is that once you use it, you've burned all of your crowd control at once. So once that knockup in the stun expires, then there's nothing else you can do. Alistar is just standing there. At least once he hits level 6, he has the damage reduction, so he can stand on the front pretty long. It's just, I don't think that type of crowd control combo that is really short duration, even if it does have short CDs, I just don't think that kind of short duration is very good for the laning phase. And when you're laning with a Tristana who's a weak laning AD carry to begin with, that's not entirely promising, but they're making it pretty even in this lane so far. We have hit level 6, so let's see, maybe they can use that Unbreakable Will to create some plays. I would definitely like to see a Russian guy try and get that flash pulverize off. Like, the one good thing about Alistar's combo, or the way his abilities function... Oh, wait. Tipster is gaining onto the mid lane. Skirmisher Smite has come out. He dives onto 4C, but here comes the ult from Gangplank. Melchior is gonna die as the teleport comes in from Bloodsync. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, both AD carries, the AD carries have been knocked up, and both are exhausted. Subway seems to be in a little bit in the lead. Gaming Gam is on the chase. He wants to get Midnight Drop. Russian guy is trying to stop him. Heal is forced out of Midnight Drop. They get away safely, just barely. Meanwhile, that Sultan Gangplank dropping his pots. I guess they're not barrels anymore. But the heal was burned from Midnight Drop, but the flash was burned from Subway. If Kabloomy can get down here within the timing of this flash, and as long as a Midnight Drop can try and maybe control his ability to push the lane a little, just because he's Tristana, you're basically automatically going to push the lane. It's so much easier for your lane opponent to freeze if they're not Tristana, and you're playing Tristana. You're just going to automatically push the lane, so it can be a little bit difficult to set up for ganks. Right now, the lane is really pushed up, but Tipster is hanging around, and they don't know he's here because, of course, he's Evelyn. He's just waiting for the perfect moment. Kabloomy has joined here in the top lane, might be looking for a dive, but Bloodsync, apparently, it looked like Bloodsync spotted him, actually, so Kabloomy is wasting his time. Bloodsync is going to recall, and Color Wheel is most likely going to get a good amount of damage on the tower. No teleport available for Bloodsync, so Color Wheel has a chance to take the tower here, along with Kabloomy, who has joined him. But the lanes are going pretty even so far. This tower is going to go down, probably going to give an early lead over to PMM. But it's going really even in this early game. Neither team is leading in any lane, in any position, rather. Yes, there's a small CS lead in the favor of Kabloomy over Tipster, but Tipster has been, like, really out-pressuring Kabloomy. Kabloomy hasn't been able to get into great positions for ganks. And actually, the only gank he's really gotten so far was a reaction to Tipster's ganks in the middle lane, and it just ended up trading 1-for-1. That's not the kind of gank you want when Tipster is playing this great early game jungler and really exercising that. Like Tipster is perfectly using his early game pressure. He's been in every lane, gotten a kill for every person except for the bottom lane, where he just paid a visit. So, everybody on PMM's side of the map has to be so scared of that right now. They have to be so scared of Tipsters coming in that they don't have any capability to win their lanes. It's a really great equalizer, and as... It looks like Lucian's gonna aim for that early Avarice play, the one I said I didn't like. I still don't like it, but hey, these players are way better than I am, so they must know something, right? I'm only a gold scrub. Anyways, looks like Tipster's gonna pick up the Scuttle Crab for his team. Might give them a little bit of dragon pressure. Kabloomy is hanging around. Now that he's hit level 6, or now 7, as long as he can get some good tunnels on this side of the map now, he has a lot more capability to counter gank. In the early game, it hasn't gone too poorly. Yes, Tipster has managed to get off a few good ganks. He's participated in all 3 kills of his team for his team so far. But now that this tunnel, now that the tunnel network is laid, and now that Kabloomy has his ultimate, he can get across the map much more easily. It's just that the invisible pressure of Evelyn is preventing anyone on PMM's side from playing aggressively in their lanes. And Russian Guy just burned his Pulverize. That's pretty bad. But Russian Guy is going to walk behind Gaming Game. Looks like he's going to try and headbutt him into the team, but it doesn't work. Russian Guy gets locked down under the tower. Unbreakable Will comes to cleanse the CC and keep him alive. And Midnight Drop uses this Buster Shot to get Subway away. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Tipster's on the gank, but Kabloomy's going in for Gaming Gam. Subway is coming in and knocking him low, but a Flash Pulverize comes out onto Subway. Subway is going to die, but not before he trades back a kill. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Tipster is running onto Color Wheel. Red blood buff is burning, but it's not going to be enough. The kill is secured by Bloodsync with his parlay, but it looks like PMM is going to be able to pick up another tower. Kill lead to UES, but turret lead to PMM. Like, Tipster has been all over the map. There's only now one kill that he's not participated in. It was only because, and that was Subway trading himself just for the kill onto the support because he got knocked in. It was a really nice Flash Pulverize from Russian Guy. Yeah, he may not be good on other champions, maybe not be as good on other champions that aren't Thresh, but he's definitely showing that he's still pretty damn good. When it counts. Anyways, Malchior going in onto 4C in the middle lane. Gotta be scared of that turret. And he is playing Diana, and he's gotta be scared of Evelyn still, because they haven't managed to pressure the Evelyn's jungle at all. Kabloomy has not been in there lying down wards. He has a Sightstone. He needs to start getting into the head of Tipster. Tipster's been all over the map. You need to see him when he's farming his camp so that you can try and counter gank. Because if he gets into a gank alone, he's shown that he has a very great capability. You see Bloodsink winning his lane for the first time all series. That's not a good sign, despite your turret lead and despite your really small gold lead so far. Tipster has better vision control of his own jungle than Kabloomy does, and that's not a good sign. I mean, he bought that pink ward. Good on you, Tipster. Buying pink wards is very good for you. Man, I just found that I made that sound like a health thing. I guess it is good for your health. Pink wards, better than Sunny D. Anyways, Melchior coming in under 4C. Color Wheel is going to join the fight as well. Wild Growth knocks them away, but the Color Wheel still manages to get the double stun. He's looking for Tipster or 4C, but both of them manage to get away. Teleport is coming in from Bloodsink to come and help his team. Melchior is out of mana. 4C is getting really low. And Kabloomy with a nice engage comes in with his Killing Smite, manages to finish the kill onto 4C. And Melchior is probably going to have to back. Midnight Drop stuck alone in the bottom lane, but it was a nice kill by Kabloomy, and he also managed to get right into the middle where he managed to get that double knockup. Ooh, teleport coming down from Melchior in the bottom lane. This is what he wants. Gaming Game is completely caught out. Here comes Midnight Drop, jumping right onto him, lands the slow, and he secures the kill. Meanwhile, Tipster has been caught out by Color Wheel. Pulverize comes out of Rushing Guy. Tipster is going to go down, and this gives up Dragon. With no smite and no AD carry, there's no way that they can steal this. Unless maybe Bloodsink gets a miracle, but no, he can't do that either because he doesn't have his ult. It's going to be a free Dragon coming out for PMM. Or, well, not totally free. It's free after everything they've done. They certainly had an effective setup coming into this. They got everything they needed. They got the kills. They managed to pick out a bunch of different fights at the same time. And now not only did they get the Dragon, but they get Tipster's blue buff. That's going to cut down his early pressuring shenanigans quite a bit. And they even managed to kill the little one, so they get the timer. That means Kabloomy can be in there next time that blue buff spawns and try and use it for whatever he can possibly secure. Mid lane going a little bit even, but Melchior is looking to come in under 4C. He's run out of mana, however, and without the reset on his ultimate, he cannot jump in. Melchior gonna walk away a little bit disappointed. I think I'm starting to see the point of the teleport on Diana. It's just Diana burns mana so fast when she wants to actually fight that having a teleport means you can back and regen if you run out, and then teleport us right back, and you don't have to give up anything. So you don't have to give up the experience, you don't have to give up any CS. So yeah, Diana's actually pretty good with teleport. I'm starting to see the benefits. Diana seems to be very mana demanding, but it seems like that could be solved with the blue buff. So maybe I'm still not quite on track. Come on, Color Wheel, get hit by a pot before when you're in your Counter Strike. I really want to see whether or not Counter Strike blocks that ability or blocks the barrel. I'm really curious. So I'm just waiting for the one opportunity, especially now seeing as Bloodsink has completed Tripolis. And Kabloomy comes in and steals Tipster's red buff now too. Tipster with no buffs now. All of his pressure is just evaporated. But meanwhile, Gaming Game has locked down Midnight Drop. He has been ignited. 4C locks down to the picks, and Bloodsink secures the kill with an ultimate. Meanwhile, Melchior is creating onto 4C, manages to secure the kill. Gaming Game runs away under his turret. Subway has only just now arrived. Kabloomy looking for a knockup maybe. Color Wheel is waiting in the wings to join. But it doesn't look like they want to dive just yet. The Rek'Sai music. This actually got me yesterday pretty good, but I know what it is now. I was playing during the entirety of the pause, and apparently it's because when Rek'Sai's bridge she starts to sound like Jaws, just a little bit. But anyways, looks like PMM is really starting to establish an advantage here. And now getting a lot of damage onto that top tower. They have their gold lead is really starting to grow. Meanwhile, Tipster has found Melchior in the jungle, but Melchior isn't taking a lot of damage. Got all three of the shield pots. Anyways, Kabloomy flashes, knocks up 3, and Color Wheel follows up with a perfect stun as well. Melchior kills Tipster. Subway has joined the fight. He's knocking a lot of damage onto Color Wheel with his culling, but it's run out. Bloodsink is on the chase. He has everything he needs. He just needs to get onto Color Wheel. He needs to move there. The flash root comes out from Game but it does not land. Kabloomy has to run away from the barrels, uses his tunnel to get into his Raptor camp, and now maybe UES can take a mid lane tower. Everyone's gonna have to back from PMM, so yep, this is gonna be a given up mid lane tower. Maybe bring the cold lead a little bit closer than it is. But UES is still one with the gold lead. The PMM is definitely wow. I thought PMM was on the red side for some reason, but yeah, they're actually running a they're running a decent gold lead, a 3,000 gold lead. I'm so confused right now. But yeah, PMM, they're team fighting really effectively this game. Melchior is showing a pretty good mastery of this Diana. Like, he knows his limits. He knows when not to bite off a bit more than he can chew, and he's really showing that off right now. I'm excited for this next dragon because it's definitely going to be an intense fight around it. PMM has already secured one dragon, so UES is going to be looking to cut off any chance of that dragon stacking. They want to get this dragon. They have those 4 kills on Bloodsink. He has that completed Triforce. He just needs to get his barrels into the right position and be able to kill the target he needs to get to. Whichever target that may be. Hopefully it's Midnight Drop, but he is playing Tristana, one of the safer AD carries in the game. But speaking about safe AD carries, Melchior has found Subway and he assassinates him real good. Russian guy, pulverizing the ground. Maybe he's not as good on Alistar as I thought he was. He's made some nice plays this game, but that's like the 3rd time I've seen him pulverize the ground. Damn it, why can't he ever get that on the Counter-Strike? But anyways, Color Wheel and Bloodsink are in a 1v1. Who's gonna win? Bloodsink is way more fed than Color Wheel is, and despite Jax's dueling potential, he does lose. Bloodsink now 5-0. We're getting really dangerous. But PMM has definitely got the advantage on the turret pressure. There has only been one tower taken by UES, and Diana is right now pushing up the bottom lane. And Lucian is the only one running to stop her as of, yeah, never mind, we have Tipster running here too. Oh, he should run. Here comes the teleport from Bloodsink right behind him. He's gonna run right into him. Melchior is down. That's a 6-0 gangplank we're looking at here. Looks like it might have needed to be a priority in Champion Select. Blue is gonna be given away, I think. Yep, nope, Tipster is gonna be the one to secure it. No blue buffs for 4C. It's gonna help Melchior push his lead in this lane a little bit more. But Dragon is up now. Kabloomy is a little bit far away. He doesn't have his ult to rejoin, but no tunnels really that close, so he's gonna have to walk the whole way. Looks like UES has a pretty safe Dragon here. Kabloomy is pretty far away. But their AD carry isn't here, so the Dragon isn't falling that fast. Russian guy jumps in. He's on to Gamma Gam, activates Unbreakable Will. The Zyra turned around, drops her big ult on the knockout, but Bloodsink is caught up right in the front of the fight. Here comes the Wild Growth, it's not going to save Bloodsink. That's 2 kills for PMM. They're looking for more. Here comes the slow from Midnight Drop. 3 kills for PMM. Looking for Gamma Gam now. Double kill comes out for Color Wheel. Midnight Drop jumps over the wall, using those resets beautifully, and that is going to be an ace in the favor of PMM. Not to mention another Dragon. UES put up a good fight in the early game, but things are slowly falling into PMM's favor. They've really adapted from their slight failures in the last game. Not playing too hard into the early game because they know that late game they're just a stronger team in general. They've been playing these late game games a little bit better. The shot calling from UES is pretty messy, so if they can just get into those situations where it's more about the team and more about the shot calling, then PMM has the advantage in that situation. They seem to be a more practiced and experienced roster as far as togetherness is concerned. But Bloodsink is still really far ahead. It's just that the rest of his team is not so much. Yeah, I bet he's starting to feel like how Color Wheel felt in Game 2 when he was playing Rengar and he was super fed, but yeah, it doesn't count for much if the rest of your team is just falling way behind. Color Wheel still solo laning against Bloodsink. He has a little bit more gold now, has that CS lead, so he might actually be able to fight Bloodsink now, but Subway has joined him. Color Wheel is doing a lot of damage onto Bloodsink, but Bloodsink gets right on away, manages to get another kill. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Tristana secures a kill, and Melchior kills the support. PMM pushing up the middle lane here. Looks like they have this tower. The rest of the UES is just stuck off to the side here, and this is Tristana. The tower is just going to evaporate against the explosive shot, and it's taking a really long time for UES to rotate back to defend this tower. Kabloomy and company have completely zoned everyone off, and Tristana just melts away that tower. This is going to be a middle lane inhibitor for PMM, and UES has no choice but to run. Melchior jumps onto Subway, but it's not going to be enough for the kill until Midnight Drop comes in, jumps in, gets the killing spree. He's going after Bloodsink now, tries to flash away, but the shutdown goes to Bloodsink. But Bloodsink dies in return. Tipster has joined the fight, Gamma Gam is up, and so is 4C. He's running to join the fight. The inhibitor has gone down. Melchior turns onto Tipster, but Tipster just barely lives, and Melchior doesn't have the mana to secure the kill. Prey Seeker gets launched out onto Tipster, but the Shield of Blue just barely manages to save him. 4C looking to return some kills now. It's all he can do. He's on the chase. He picks his return to him, and it looks like Kabloomy's a little bit too fast for him. And they're gonna run away, and 4C has to stop the chase. And this is starting to not look very good for UES. Color Wheel looking to find Tipster in the jungle. Looks like Color Wheel has spotted Tipster taking away the ward, but doesn't want to fight right now. No one else on his team is really looking to be in range at the moment. Bloodsink is the only one with a significant amount of gold on his team, and he's losing in CS despite being 8-2. So that's not a very encouraging sign, especially with Baron being up and ready for contention. With that middle lane inhibitor down, yes, it's the easiest to defend, but even though it is the easiest to defend, it still makes Baron a little bit harder to stop. Tipster's got to be looking for this steal because it does look like PMM doesn't want to start pressuring this. Color Wheel is pushing up the bottom lane. No teleport available right now, so I think they're going to wait a little while before they decide on pressuring the Baron. They do have a 10,000 gold lead right now, so if they want to take the Baron, they definitely can at the moment. They're pushing out their side lanes, and this is a show of a more experienced shot-going team. You see them pushing out these side lanes before they do anything. It's their first priority. Make sure that they have minions pushing up every lane, so that no matter what they decide to do, whether it be Baron or taking the second tier tower top lane, or looking for vision control in the enemy jungle, they can still manage it. But anyways, we do have a pause coming out. Looks like Bloodsink's screen has been frozen. Gonna go into pause mode. Apparently Jax ordered pizza. But anyways, this game is going really well for PMM. They've established control. They've definitely established control of the map right now. They're starting to take control of the side lanes right now, just pushing through these minions, trying to get control of the side lanes so they can assess their options. I would personally look for the Baron. They have the Midnight Drop really strong right now, and so is Diana, and so is Color Wheel. So that's a lot really fast Baron shred. You can kill Baron really fast with that composition. It's not Vayne Azir, but it's not bad either. And UES currently has to face not only against the super minions now, but if they also have the side lanes pushing, they have to clear those. So it's going to be less pressure on the Baron. Looks like we're going to be out of the pause really soon. Readies are coming out from the teams. Okay. We're gonna be getting back into the game now. Pause has ended. UES, I'm not looking in good shape right now. They're just looking for the right fight at this point. They're really far behind in gold. And Drushinga just walking up to the tower now, and because Midnight Drop is Tristana, you can just evaporate this turret. Turret's gone. Bye-bye. That's the second tier tower, and with the side lanes pushing up on every lane, and as I was talking about, they're really doing this 1-3-1. One in bot lane, one in middle lane, three in top lane. Not the traditional 1-3-1, but you can run 1-3-1 in a lot of different configurations. Although I guess this is more of a 3-1-1. Looks like they're going to be looking for the Baron now. There are no wards there for UES, and they have super minions pressing onto their base, so they can't even get there right now. This is a completely safe Baron for PMM. They're going to take it, but Bloodsink has dropped his ultimate because they did see them going towards it. They're trying to stop this, but Midnight Drop is got his exponential. The crits are going, and it looks PMM has secured the Baron. Now let's see what they're going to do for it. Melchior is pushing up the bottom lane. He's trying to get that Crescent Strike onto Lucian so that he can jump onto him and then immediately kill him. But the rest of UES is on the way, so he's had to back off, but he still has minions pushing up, and with this Baron buff, maintaining the 1-3-1 is the best bet that PMM has. They have both of their teleports up, so all they need to do when a fight breaks out is drop wards, and both Color Wheel and Melchior can teleport in to help immediately. So they can keep up this 1-3-1 really easily, especially because it's at the inhibitor towers now. When a fight is breaking out in the base and everybody is doing like this 1-3-1, it's so much easier to execute a 1-3-1 when everyone's at the base already. Because at the enemy base, because they can just walk. They don't even have to use their teleport. It would actually take longer to teleport than it would be to just walk over and join the fight. So even if you're in separate lanes, it's really easy to join. Yeah, this is usually a defender advantage, but it can be an advantage for the aggressors too if you're gonna run something in the format of the 1-3-1. And PMM definitely has a lot of options. Things are slowing down a little bit. PMM just trying to make a decision. I think they should do it a little bit faster. This is starting to look more like UES's Baron takes, where you just be really unsure. But actually, no, they're over there taking the dragon too. They don't want to take any risks. It's going to be a secured dragon for PMM. They're getting ever farther ahead. Although I don't think they'll make it to the 5th dragon before this game ends, personally. They have an 11,000 gold lead. They managed to take Baron and dragon with no contest, basically. But right now they have these Baron buff minions. All they have to do is wait. They're stronger late game, so they don't have to be worried about forcing this too hard. They just got to look for the right opportunity. Wait for them to step out of position, and you'll be totally fine. You can outscale, so you're in a good position. And the middle lane inhibitor is going to respawn, so PMM's probably going to look to retake that. And it's the only exposed lane they got, but Melchior is pushing up in the top lane now, has Baron buff minions. This was what they were waiting for. Waiting for their ability to get a turret alone. Melchior has managed to deal a great deal of damage to that top lane tower, and the middle lane inhibitor is down too. Color Wheel is fighting right now. He's found Bloodsink in the back, but Bloodsink does survive. Cooling is coming out from Subway, and Tipster secures the kill. They're looking for Tipster now. Melchior jumping in on him. Kabloomy Flash knocks him up. There have been a lot of knockups going up this fight. Tipster is still somehow alive, but he secured the kill. An explosive charge secures Zyra. Subway is going after Melchior, but Melchior turns the kill right on back. Double kill for Melchior. Now he's looking for Bloodsink as well. He uses that remove scurvy to eat an orange and BK. 4C and Bloodsink are the only ones left. This inhibitor is getting really low. Bloodsink wants to stop this. Kabloomy is trying to flank him. Melchior is onto him. Melchior is out of mana, so he's probably just going to focus on this inhibitor now. 4C is the only one remaining from from UES. This is getting worse and worse. No turrets remaining. They've only taken one turret all game. This is looking a lot more like the first game. UES has put up a good fight. They played the early game pretty well, but once things got into motion, PMM showing their dominance, getting way ahead, and proving that they're the better team, at least for now. Kabloomy tunneling his way away. But here comes Color Wheel. He's looking for 4C. Prey Seeker comes out from Kabloomy. 4C looking to secure the kill. Manages to get the kill. Kabloomy probably shouldn't have come back there, but here comes the Russian guy. 4C flashes over the wall. He's on the run, looking to recall. Color Wheel uses his jump strike to keep himself in range, keeping 4C in his sights. But Lulu is Lulu, so not only is she going to slow you, but she has that movement speed boost, so Color Wheel is going to be running for quite a while. He's wasting his time. The only thing he's doing is delaying the end of the game, but I guess he could just wait for the super minions and keep up this chase. Man, is this ever going to end? He locks down. It's 4C actually. He manages to get the kill. I'm impressed. It was the Blade of the Rune King. It slowed 4C right on down. And got right into him and won that fight. Looks like PMM's pressuring the base now. 3 lanes to super minions. There's not much you can do, and there's not a lot of blades clear from their side, especially because 4C is down. Bloodsync has to burn his ult just to wait for her, not about the fight. They dived on the game again. Melchior is on a rampage. The turrets aren't going to fall. This is going to be the game. And the Color Wheel's going after Tipster, but nothing happens. Melchior goes really low. He's going to be killed by Bloodsync, but it doesn't matter at all. Color Wheel dives the fountain, lives, but that's going to be the end of the game. It's going to be the end of the series. PMM secures their first victory of the season, and they're starting with a pretty good win. They won the series. Good job. It was a pretty not very exciting game. But PMM wins in the end. They played a really controlled game this time, and they won. It's pretty much just that simple. There wasn't a lot complicated to it, but I did really like the fight that UES put out in Game 2. They put up a really great fight, and it ended okay for them. But anyways, that's going to be it for me. I'm going to cut off a little bit early, not only because I don't have much post-game analysis for this one, just because it was such it was such a controlled game from PMM, but I'm going to play the highlights from day one, just because I have a lot more viewers than I did when I first ran the highlights, so I'm going to run them for you again. These are the day one highlights if you need a recap for day one, and I'm going to be running this tomorrow as well for day two, so don't worry. You're all going to see see the hypey plays. But right now, I'm just going to play that video for you. It's been a really nice time, guys. This is it for the North American Master League, Week 1, Day 2. UES versus PMM. PMM claims victory. The schedule will be updated shortly. And here are those highlights.